what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back here at the OG filming spot because guess what? I have one of the OGs of full-size luxury SUVs. This is it. This is a 2022 Cadillac Escalade. Our particular one is a sport trim. But before we get into this full-size luxury and technology-packed vehicle, let's talk about what's going on here. The Cadillac Escalade. It is one of the originals when it comes to, like I said, full-size luxury SUVs. Now, it's not the first. That honor and award goes to the Lincoln Navigator. But in the early 1990s, Cadillac decided to test the waters and see what would happen because nobody knew exactly just how crazy SUVs would become, especially the luxury kind. So what they did was they took a GMC Yukon, slapped a Cadillac grille and some badging, and called it an Escalade for that first generation, and it was really popular. So from there on out, no longer was it just about having a certain look because of a grille or that logo, it was about bringing something special. And fast forward to the 2022 model year, this is why it kind of shocked me when I used to be a high school teacher and students would say, hey, my dream car is an Escalade. That's what Cadillac has done with this SUV. They have made it a dream car for many. Now, there's been some changes, especially over the last year or so with a redesign. The Lincoln Navigator has also gone through some slight changes for 2022. Of course, we still got the others from BMW, Audi, and Mercedes-Benz, and even now a Jeep Grand Wagoneer. But what I want to do is I want to go original mano y mano, compare this Escalade to the Navigator, and see which full-size SUV should you be buying, and if this is the king of all of them. Let's go ahead, let's dive into our infrared tint coat Escalade and find out. Right off the bat, the color. Infrared tint coat, it really sparkles like a ruby here in the Florida sun. I do have to give it a little bit of a zonk though, because guess what? Infrared is actually a color from Lexus, and it is very close to this one. I guess when you add tint coat to it, it's something different. But at the front end of the business, you'll notice that same style that came fresh for 2021. Total redesign. So you got your massive LED headlights, LED signature daytime running lamps, and turn signals. You work your way down, we got some gloss black. Now, one of the things I wish they would have done was made this a functional corner air curtain. So I am gonna zonk that, but from a lighting standpoint, I love the way they have the lights set up on this, especially compared to the Navigator. Now, the Navigator did get a refreshed set of headlights and a front grille and fascia, but let's see how you feel about what the Escalade is bringing. Now, as we come across the Sport grille, so when you go Sport, you're gonna get this blacked out grille. Love the look of it, especially with the infrared color. You got a forward-facing camera, gloss black all the way around. We will be bringing to you in the next couple months the Escalade V, which not only stands for victory, but also stands for performance. So stay tuned for that. Working your way down, we got the horizontal gloss black, and we have a functional opening down in this lower area. Other than that, it's large. There's nothing else you could say about this. I don't know if you hear those sirens. Those are the Lincoln Navigator owners that are being rushed off to the hospital because they can't believe how nice this Escalade is. Now, when we get up onto the front hood, it's wide, it's bold, but they did a great job with the body lines. You have a nice rise in the center, rises on each side in front of the driver and the passenger, and then everything else just goes right towards the A-pillars. But I think we could agree this looks more modern compared to the Navigator. Navigator, I hate to say it, especially with those people being rushed off to the hospital, it's kind of looking a little fuddy-duddy. But that's just me. Let's go around the bend and see what we got wheel and tire set up. So on the Sport, what I like is there's no chrome. I'm not really into chrome myself. So what you're gonna get are these hand polished areas on this 22-inch wheel, gunmetal metallic gray finish. I love the size of the tire, 275 on the width, meaty 50 series sidewall. Of course, we got the magnetic ride suspension, and we have the optional air ride, adaptive air ride suspension, plus no flat black. So you got the stylish 22-inch wheel, no chrome, and no flat black. As we continue down the side, color matched on the mirror caps. 360-degree cameras, and they tinted the turn signal area in the mirrors. And look, they did it right. No shiny, bright metalwork. Gloss black, gloss black, gloss black, blends in nicely. You have some LED lighting on the door handle, and they're also color matched. And then you'll notice the running board and the gloss black sill plate. Watch this. Open up the door, boom. You got your electric dropping running boards, plus they have LED lights. So this thing at night looks like the USS Enterprise getting ready for takeoff when you do remote start and have all those lights come on. Really, really kind of crazy look to it. Working our way towards the rear, you can see the sheer size of this thing. I'm 6 feet tall and it makes me look like a person that's 4 feet tall. That's how big this thing is. But the running boards really help. Even if you are 4 feet tall, they're gonna help you get to the interior. Keep working our way back. I like the nice, tasteful Cadillac badge. Everything kind of nice and seamless from front to back. Of course, this is rear-wheel drive, but it also has four-wheel drive as well. Getting to the back, super clean. No rear wiper. The Navigator has a wiper. This one is nicely tucked up, so it's just gonna, and you can see just how clean it is. Nice low roof spoiler, massive Cadillac badge. I wanna pop this off, and I wanna wear it around my neck like Flava Flav, and just be like, yeah, I got a Cadillac. Escalade badging, 600, that has to deal with the torque in Newton meters. I think that's a ridiculous badge. I am gonna zonk it. Why do we need that there? I do love the lighting though. I'm not gonna zonk that, especially the way it goes from such a high distance and drops down. Another thing I like is that you hit the button and now you can just reach right inside. So that makes it easy so that you don't have to pop the whole back. And then going all the way down to the bottom level where we started from, you do have these vacuum style rectangular exhausts, but they are both functional on both sides, and they do fit cleanly with the lower bumper area. Of course, this is a cover that hides all the towing hookups, because you could tow with this Escalade. But why don't we go ahead? We got this Escalade. Let's pop the hood and see what's powering. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hydraulic hood struts. Underneath the hood is gonna be that tried and true power plant. It's a naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8. So we're looking at 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. Remember, if you go the Navigator route, you're dealing with a V6 twin turbo. And new for 2023 on the Jeep Grand Wagoneer is a straight six twin turbo. So this is probably the last of the naturally aspirated V8 luxury SUVs. It's made it to a 10-speed automatic, just like the Navigator. This thing weighs 5,700 pounds, but guess what? Does 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds. It's got a top speed that's governed to 120 miles an hour. It's got an electronic limited slip diff. MPGs, not the greatest, but that's to be expected because this is the size of a house. 14 in the city, 14 in the city, 19 on the highway. And like I was saying, we have that air ride suspension and we got Super Cruise. So why don't we go ahead, let's Super Cruise and hear what this Cadillac Escalade sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 Cadillac Escalade Sport. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, this thing is huge, but I need space. Plus, I'm kind of like your old students that you used to teach. I've always wanted an Escalade. Secretly, I've always wanted one. But of course, price is a big factor. I've looked at Lincoln Navigator black labels. How much is this Escalade? MSRP for this particular one, the way it's optioned is $106,000. It does have Super Cruise, but let's see what else it has. To the door panels, I like the clean style. You have that contrast stitching. There's this dark wood finish. I wish they would have kept it flat and not put a veneer on it. So I am gonna zonk that. And there is some silver trim, which I think would look better with some black chrome, but you have that nice carbon flash metallic around the window switch gear. I also like the placement of where the buttons are for the heated and ventilated seats, right by the door handle. Easy to get to, and the two-tone with the cream interior really makes it pop, especially with the gray piping. You don't have to have cream interior. They do have full dark interiors as well. Door pocket is a nice large size. You could easily get 5 hot dogs fresh off the grill with relish and extra mustard and a large Polar cup to wash it all down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, same story. They did a great job on the materials. I even like what they did up top with the speakers. Remember, this has the AKG speaker system with well over 35 speakers. That is outrageous. More of that wood trim. Love the way they kind of hid the AC vents. Soft touch. You do have a pocket on the side. What would be perfect there? 2 all-American patties from McDonald's with some small fries you can fit in there, so you can have your hot dogs and you can eat your hamburgers too. Now we get to the center stack where things get out of control. 38 inches. You got 36 speakers, 38 inches of OLED info from the infotainment and the digital gauge cluster. And remember, OLEDs are much higher quality, better resolution. Of course, we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation, nice touchscreen, and it's easy to use. Let me show you some of my favorite features. So we have vehicle information. You could get that transmission fluid temp, and what's cool is you could actually have it shown in your gauge cluster, or you can remove it and have it brought right back here. That to me is smart. Air filter life, brake pad life. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna go back to home. You have, of course, your swiping features. Amazon Alexa, I won't say it too loud because I don't want to talk to her right now. Cameras. General Motors does some of the best cameras. Look at the resolution. You could actually count how many lines are on the road. Trajectory, you could go wide, you could go overhead, you could go out the sides. Plus, there's more. Now you could do 360 and you could actually pinpoint exactly where you want the 360 to be. My only complaint, the only zonk, where's my infrared Escalade in the image? Let's say you got a tow, you got your tow stuff hooked up, you could go ahead and line her up, and then there we are right out the front. So easy to use. Let me show you something else. Watch this. I'm gonna go, this is your home setting. I'm gonna go into actual settings, into setups of this system. So what happens is that in this middle section you have settings. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll all the way down. What's kind of cool is you can actually see what applications you're running and how much memory they're using in the system. Tells you how many gigabytes free you have, how many is being used, and you could easily stop them. That's something I've never seen on any other vehicle. So very, very cool setup there. Dropping dirt way down, we have our nice toggle switches for our dual climate with that real nice clear TFT digital display. Start stop button. This is going to control the 10-speed automatic. Not soft touch, but at least it's not just flat black plastic. You got that direct drive control knob if you don't want to touch the screen. And then more of that wood. Do you see how it's got that veneer finish on it? I feel like it's going to be too much glare, and then the fingerprints, of course. But we open this massive door up. You have a USB-C, USB-A, enough space here for some atomic fireballs. 2 cup holders for your super Slurpees, maybe a big gulp or 2. And then key fob. Your traditional Cadillac key fob. Flip it around. There's your buttons with that remote start. Soft touch, the nice leather. It says Escalade. The piping. Open it up. Whoa. You got enough room to where you could actually stand 2 Perkins freaking apple pies in there. And nothing is more American than an apple pie and some hot dogs. You got a USB-C, USB-A, plus you can put forks and napkins in here because you don't want people making a mess on your beautiful interior. Do you see all these silver spots in here? Like on the headrest? Those are the speakers of the AKG system right in the headrest here. Perforated, the piping, ventilated, heated, and full electric assist. Nicely done, very comfortable. And then of course you're gonna have, what do we got? We got that sliding rear shade here. So you got your panoramic sunroof, goes all the way back. Easy to use, but close it up, one touch operation. But why don't you come over here, because you think there's a lot of tech on this side, there's even more on the business end. Coming over, I want to show you. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You got your aluminum sill plate, lights up at night, bright LED, Escalade. You made it, you did it, you were able to earn it. I love the way they got the seat controls with the silver finish within fingertips reach, the nice piping. I'm 6 feet tall. I could grow another couple feet and I'd still have plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, you'll notice the gloss black. That's for the Super Cruise, and I will show how this works on the drive. It's gonna light up green and let you know that you're in Super Cruise mode, so stay tuned for that. We got our black wood finish on the wheel, a little bit of silver, flat black on all the buttons. You do have paddles to go up and down the 10-speed, automatic. You'll notice that you actually have a little bit of digital display here on the far outskirts, and then the rest of the dash is gonna be over 14 inches in display. You could actually scroll through your Sirius XM settings, and when you're thinking about like your tachometer's in the lower left-hand center, and then there's that information like your transmission temperature. There is a head-up display as well to give you all the information you need, and a digital rear-view mirror, which is great. That is technology that GM brought to the forefront. But why don't we go ahead? Up front is pretty killer. Let's get to the mid-row and see if your passengers are gonna love rolling down the street in your Escalade. All right, guys, mid-row time. Come on in because there's plenty of space back here. You'll notice the same great seats as up front are in the mid-row as a captain's chair. Armrest, it's good. I'm not gonna zonk it. I wish it was just a little wider like the Navigator, but still good. I'm glad there's no center console for the mid-row because it really frees up the space. You could get the armrest out of the way. Nice soft leather. And if you're wondering what kind of leather is this, it's not Napa. It's actually Moulin leather. Just like the movie, or maybe Moulin Rouge, who knows. Speaking of backs of the seats, you have this nice large pocket. You could actually put a couple caramel apples. What you're gonna have to do is though stick the stick side into the actual pocket with the apple sticking out. Don't put the apple in the pocket. That's gonna be nasty and get gross. You get caramel apples and candy apples from the fair. You got your rear AC vents, heated seats, 3 stages, but no ventilated seats. That's a little bit of a zonk there at this price point. I like the way they got this tray for your 2 milkshakes, strawberry and vanilla. And then you got 2 USB-Cs and a home power source. On my side, I could easily put, I would say, 3 elephant ears or 3 funnel cakes, depending on what I'm in the mood for. I could put those in there very easily. 6 feet tall, feeling good. You got AC vents up high on the edges. I wish there was an AC vent on the actual frame. And then remember, all these silver things you're seeing, those are actual speakers. Do the seats recline? Of course, a little aggressive, but they do. And then they also slide as well. But why don't we go ahead, let's slide into the 3rd row and see how much room is back there for those passengers. All right, guys, 3rd row time. And one of the great things about the Escalade with that independent rear suspension, you have plenty of leg room back here, plenty of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall. I haven't shrunk since the start of this video, even though I've been sweating a lot. I still am 6 feet tall. The one downside, and I don't know why they did this, the rear seats are not Moulin leather. So I guess you could put the passengers that you value more in your circle in the nicer seats and leave the peasants back here with me with the non-Moulin leather. But it does look nice. I just wish they used the same leather. Well, they run out that day at the factory. You do have USB-Cs and cup holders. And one thing that I also like is, let's say nobody's sitting here. Let's say they got out and you didn't want to go sit in the mid-row because you were told you were a peasant. You're like, the hell with you. I'm not sitting in that mid-row. Watch this. Now you're the king of the castle because you could put your legs out and just chill back here and be ultra comfortable, and you don't even need a crown to prove it. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in that cargo area and see how many balls, yes, footballs, soccer balls, and volleyballs we could fit in that back cargo area. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, most important part, the cargo area. You're gonna be hauling half the neighborhood. You wanna do it in this vehicle. Of course, we got remote start. And we also have remote ability to open up the hatch. Nice, quick action. And what's great is that you're gonna be greeted to a ton of room. Now on the driver's side, you have that 36 speaker. Remember, there's 36 speakers in the AKG system. That is the subwoofer. On the driver's side, you actually have, instead of a 12 volt, a home power source and all the switch gear to fold the seats down. Now, what I love about the switch gear is that you press it and they go down fast. Look how fast that is. The problem is they're not one touch like in the Navigator, but you can see how much room we have. So we started with 40 cubic feet of space. You fold down that mid row, you got over 100 cubic feet of space. And I normally don't do this because of how much time it takes, but I'm actually gonna bring the seats back up just to show you. Look how fast they come back up. I mean, you're ready to rock and roll. But why don't we go ahead, since we're talking about rocking and rolling, we're talking about the baseball bats, the soccer balls, and the footballs, the pigskins, how many we can fit back here. Let's go ahead and go on throttle the American way in this Cadillac Escalade. All right, guys, we're in this 2022 Cadillac Escalade Sport. Right away, you're just going to be so wrapped in luxury and fine touches and technology. All of that screen, and I like the way they actually divided it up instead of just having it solid, sort of like what Mercedes-Benz does. It kind of gets lost in translation. This makes a lot more sense. You got your digital rear view mirror. I do have it in sport mode. And then, of course, you got everything else that you need. I don't know, besides massage seats or something, there's not much other that you need in this particular Escalade. Let me go ahead. I got to do some on throttle action. I'm actually going to try to come to a stop here, and then we're going to go on throttle. Just using the 10 speed, doing its thing. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Yeah. Listen to that V8, nice V8 rumble. Something that, like I said, you can't get with your Navigator. You got the paddles to go up and down the 10 speed. And then you got all the information, including a head-up display, which is awesome. So you're getting all the right information exactly the way you want it. Infotainment system is well within reach. Very simple to use. You could go ahead and go to home, and then you have all of your different icons here. Get into your cameras. I mean, there is our rear-facing camera, and it's cool because it tells you how many seconds it's going to stay up. So kind of cool that you have that ability to bring up the camera even when you're in motion like we are right now. But the seats are comfy, they're supportive. Plenty of room for everybody in here, that's for sure. And then I even like the steering wheel. I mean, it's just got a great feel to it. Nice sensitivity, your AC controls, the dual climate. And the way this thing rides, especially with the adaptive air suspension, it's just so smooth. And then you go into this right-hand bend, and even though this thing's a behemoth, it just handles so nicely. You feel in control the whole time, every time. Great visibility out the front. You got the digital rearview mirror, so you don't have to worry about what's out back. Side mirrors are a good size, and they also are stylish, which is important in a car like this, an SUV. But we're gonna see exactly how it handles a little bit more. And I definitely want to get on the highway and use some of that Super Cruise, but turning it in, I mean, nice and planted. Great feedback to the wheel, and the brakes work great. I mean, especially when an Amazon truck pulls out in front of you, you can get on the brakes and everything feels good. So you're getting a nice balance of everything in here. There was once upon a time an SUV like this that should not perform this way, and I'm excited to see what the V is going to be all about, the Escalade V. But this Sport with the 6.2 liter V8, it's doing the business when it comes to power, that's for sure. I think it's got good throttle sensitivity. And then You know, the glare is not too bad off of the veneer finish on the wood. I wish it was just open pore wood and a flat finish, but it's really not too bad. I'll bring the navigation back up so you can see that. Nice, large, great looking navigation. But going into this U-turn, I mean, just the road holding capability, the way this thing holds the road and does what it does is just so out of control. I mean, and what I mean by out of control is that it just blows your mind. Very, very nice, smooth. The adaptive suspension does the job well, really giving you a nice pillow top ride without being too soft. I love the way the dash is organized. It's easy to get the information that you want within milliseconds. And then of course, when the road is appropriate and you could utilize it to have Super Cruise, is that extra feature that really separates the Escalade from the rest of the pack. Visibility is great, especially with the digital rear view mirror. And really the only thing that's missing for the seats, especially up front, are massage seats. Other than that, it's pretty much got everything that you could want in an SUV. And it just makes sense how everything is organized. I think another thing I like as well is just pulling away from a light, good throttle sensitivity. Steering wheel feels absolutely amazing. And if you need to manually shift through the 10-speed automatic, you got the paddles. Plus, your passengers are going to be spoiled with all the amenities. I guess the one thing for the backseat passengers that they're going to probably cry the most about is not having any type of entertainment system back there. But other than that, I mean, you got everybody connected. And up front, you're really feeling like king of this castle. But it's crazy, like I said, whenever you want to go on throttle, this thing just drops down and giddies up. Watch this. On throttle, here we go. Drops down, we're gone. Great, great sound. And that's something that the Navigator is not going to have, is that great sound and just instant gobs of torque. But I'm hoping this gave you a nice overall feel of what this Cadillac's all about. The great sound deadening, the smooth ride, all of the aspects of towing and performance. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. This has been a supersize luxury fest with this Cadillac Escalade Sport. I definitely want to thank everybody over at Cadillac for allowing Raiti's Rides access to this press vehicle. Let me know what you think. Is this the true king for you, the dream SUV, that ultimate luxury SUV over the Navigator, or are you going with the original? Put it in that comment section. Dying to know which way you would go. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. Definitely got to give it up to that supersize, hard-working person behind the lens. Lori working that camera like a champ. Show her some supersize love down there in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.